very typical environment. Some of you probably could identify with my story, or Lloyd's story. And we did that documentary for a week. After we did the documentary in, what was that? April of '93 it aired. And after that, my life kind of changed. The documentary got transcribed into a half a dozen languages. It won, at that time, some very prestigious journalism awards. And it instantly kind of projected me out there as somebody that was given the ability to talk about the urban community that was from the urban community. After we did that documentary, a year later, a 5-year-old was thrown from a project window. And in Chicago, they have at the time, our projects were, they were stacked. There were, 14-story, 16-story project buildings that, lined the community. So the Darrell home was the buildings where Eric was thrown from. At 5 years old, the 2 kids again were 10 and 11. It happened, I came home from football practice that day. I was, at the beginning of my sophomore year, and I'm walking home, and, walking down Vincennes, you could see straight to Ellis Park. That's how it was configured. And you saw there was a bunch of police out there. Then went to the store, and you heard what happened. A little boy somebody got thrown out of the window, and then the next day reading the newspaper, you found out it was a 5-year-old. And so it was shocking to me. And this happened a year after Yummy Sanford. It was another kid that got killed the summer before. He had killed the girl. He was like 9 or 10 years old. He had killed the girl, Siobhan Dean, I believe it was. He was shooting at some rival gang members, some older guys that put him up to it. He shot at them. So to me, and this all happened after the first documentary. And so for me, I was like, wow, this story has to be told. How do 2 10 and 11-year-olds, and then the summer before, a 9-year-old, how were they capable of becoming murderers so young? And for me, it was like, well, not only was it about them becoming murderers, it's like, well, how did I even survive an environment? And I could understand sort of the circumstances that went into it, but it still concerned me enough that I talked to our producer that helped us produce the first documentary, and he saw it in the New York Times the next day. At the time, President Bill Clinton, he spoke about it, and it ended up being a national story for a little bit. And so when I told Dave, I said, what's going to happen is this story is going to go away. Because, you guys are from the neighborhood, you see crime happen every day, and what happens? It's provocative enough to create a discussion when it initially happens, but then it goes away. And what happens when it goes away like that is that we never really understand why, right? We never understand really why. And that's really the challenge of coming up in a community like this, right? Is that you are exposed to so many things that have such a profound impact on your life, but never really do you understand why it happens like that. All you do is find yourself going from am I right or am I wrong? You go from tragedy to another tragedy, and never is it explained why these tragedies continue to happen. Am I right or am I wrong by a show of hands?
Right.
And so when we think about that, you got to think I'm 14 or 15 years old. I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, how is it that, every year that I've been alive and consciously alive, I've known 5 to 10 people that have gotten hurt, that have gotten murdered. This weekend in Chicago, I left yesterday, but they said in the month of October in Chicago, 78 people were murdered.
Damn.
78. There have been over 600 murders in Chicago since January 1st. We have increased murders by over 35% in the city of Chicago on a year-over-year basis. How does it come home? My nephew, he was shot in the leg in a drive-by on Wednesday. Got shot in the leg, he went through, he's going through rehab. So I'm like, wow, okay, he survived. Then Saturday night, I get a call from my roommate in college, who's from Alabama, who has family in Chicago. He calls, I'm like, what's going on? He said, my cousin got killed. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, my cousin got killed. He got shot in the head. He was sitting in the car, and he got shot in the head. The funny thing about it is, I had just spoke at a school in the neighborhood where it happened at. So for me, a lot of my commentary today is reflective, but it's as immediate as me standing here right now in terms of my concern about the issues that I'm speaking about. What I want to do is, because if many of you haven't read the book, I want to go to a passage that came out that I said back in 1993. And this was when I was 13 years old. I was in my room. And I'm like, we just finished up the first documentary. I had no idea of what was going to happen, but I did know that I wanted to make a statement to affirm how I felt and what position I wanted to be in going forward to kind of understand what's going on, right? So, it says, hello. This is LeAlan again with my final and last diary. Me and my friend Roy Newman just did a description of our life for a week. And we want to give you kids an American message. Don't look at ghetto kids as different. You might not want to invite us to your parties. You might think we'll rob you blind when you get your back turned. But don't look at us like that. Don't look at us like we're an alien or an android or an animal or something. We have a hard life, but we're sensitive. Ghetto kids are not a different breed, we're human. Some people might say, that boy don't know what he's talking about. But I know what I'm talking about because I'm dealing from the heart, because I've been dealing with this for 13 years. These are my final words, but you'll be hearing from me again. And I'm not from Athens. Peace out. So I said that when I was 13. Today I'm 37 years old, married. But yet I still struggle with those same issues when I take into consideration the amount of death I've had to deal with my entire life. And yet all I've ever wanted to do was be a part of producing life. And so when I get the opportunity to speak in communities like this, like ours, because I'm from the hood, I still live in the hood, it creates an opportunity that I try to speak back to the 13 and 14-year-old self based upon the information I've gotten as an adult. And what I've come to the conclusion is that everybody in here is special. And the difficult part about being special in an environment like this is you really don't know how special you are because you confine yourself to your environment to survive. Because being exceptional in an environment like this can create a lot of problems because we don't know how to appreciate being special. You guys understand that? We really don't. I mean, and if I really sat down and broke it down to you, we don't know how to celebrate the specialness in each other and what unique values and properties it is to be special. I've grown in schools like this. And as I reflect back on it, and I look at all the talent that was in my